3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Eagles Nest. Carson,
What?
you missed the cue. We're supposed to say it at the same time.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
welcome to the Eagles
to the
Nest
Eagles Nest
podcast. I
podcast.
told you it wasn't gonna work.
Hooray! We did it.
All right.
It's so good to be
It's
on the
so
Eagle Nest
good.
podcast.
Always is. So today we have a very special guest. Our wonderful, wonderful Lodge Chief for 2024, Carson.
That's
How are you
me.
today?
I'm pretty good.
Good.
I woke up,
Hey,
went to class. It was
With
a
the-
pretty good day.
with the glass?
I went to class.
Oh, went to class. Hey, waking
No.
up, step 1. Class,
Yes.
it's all right.
How was your day today, Emerson?
Mostly uneventful since it's Labor Day. I didn't have any classes today. So, I woke up unreasonably late, and looked for stuff to do. And this is the thing on
That's
my little
fun.
planner today, was to do this. So this is like I did something productive for the day.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So why don't we just jump into those hard-hitting questions, huh?
Yeah.
Well, actually, first of all, let's get a real proper introduction. So, we got who you are, right? But what do you do for the lodge? You know, what does the lodge chief do for the lodge? In your own words, I want to know.
In my own words, at least for me, the lodge chief kind of has a lot of important roles.
Mm-hmm.
But the most one is setting a good example. At the beginning and end of the year is where the lodge chief is most prominent in the lodge. However, throughout the lodge calendar year, even though there's no specific task you must do as lodge chief, you still have to be that role model for people to look up to. So just as much as it is you are working to help build the lodge's leaders,
Mm-hmm.
you're also building up the members of your lodge through the way you act.
It's a fantastic answer. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that's something that's often overlooked, in leadership roles.
Yes.
Like you're setting an example
yeah.
just as much as you are acting out the example. You gotta do that in all capacities.
It's kind of hard because sometimes for me, I'm more task oriented.
Mm-hmm.
My last 2 positions in the lodge have been task oriented.
What were your last 2 positions in the lodge?
My last 2 positions were vice chief of program last year, and 2 years ago, I was vice chief of service.
Mm-hmm.
So those were both heavily program/event oriented.
Right.
So I had task lists, I had to-do lists, but with lodge chief, not so much. It's more of being there for your officers, your lodge leaders, and most importantly, your lodge. It's important for a lodge chief to know all the positions of the lodge and what they do. However, you don't actually do it, but you truly set the pace for them doing the job.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, your job as a lodge chief, kind of, as you said, is to lead everyone towards your vision for the year. So you kind of have to understand those roles.
Right.
Makes sense. So why did you choose to run for lodge chief?
Well, I had a lot of advisors that kind of pushed me towards that direction. And it was simply the idea that I could. At the end of the day, I didn't have to. For example, if you know Ethan Morrow is a very capable person. That would have been a great lodge chief if he ever ran, but he chose not to.
Mm-hmm.
But I was told through my training, it's good to have this experience, and why not go for it? Just as much as it was an experience for me to have been lodge chief, it's felt like a completion of a journey. So for the past couple of years, I've had the pleasure of being on the LEC. I started as the kitchen chair, and then I went up to induction weekends. Yes. And then I went to inductions, and then vice chief, and then vice chief again and lodge chief. So I felt it just as much as a duty to the lodge, just as much as a fulfillment of a journey, like the good round ending of it all. And I'm glad to have this round ending, that I'm able to truly give back in the way I love most, which is helping people.
I think that's fantastic. I mean, you clearly gave a lot of your time to the lodge before you even considered running for lodge chief, you know? How many years is that?
Yes.
Kitchen, induction weekend, service programs, 4 years. And then lodge chief.
So I started in kitchen for 2 years, and I was at every event.
Oh, wait,
And
so
the
no,
funny
2
story-
years in kitchen. So that's what, 6 years? Or 5 years?
Yeah, 6 years.
Dang.
This will be, as I'm turning 19, this will be my 7th year.
Wow.
I've had a pretty long journey. The first leadership experience I had in the lodge was one event. My chairman, my kitchen chairman, had to go away. And it's my 2nd year. But at that time, I was just a kitchen hand, right? I didn't know
Right.
how to lead a kitchen or get the kitchen on time. So here I was, and my dad loves to say this story. As it's 5-10 minutes from serving time, I'm in the back cleaning dishes and not leading up front because that's all I knew how to do. So after that really fun experience, I didn't think I was ever going to be a leader in the lodge because at that time I was like, there's no way, right? And then I was appointed kitchen chair and I thought, oh, this is the end of my OA career. And then I'll just help in kitchen every once in a while, right? And then I got this really funny text from a guy named John Quillman, who was the vice chief of service at the time, asking me if I wanted to be the induction weekends chair. Now, me being me and forgetting what communication is like, I didn't know what to say for about a month.
You didn't respond for a month?
That is correct.
Wait, and you still got to do that?
Correct.
Oh
Because
my
I
gosh.
was the most qualified person for induction weekends. I mean, it's kind of crazy to think, but when I went through induction weekends as an induction weekends chair, even though I was stuck in the kitchen, I knew so much about the event for being there, for it being my 4th year, actually. Yeah, that's crazy. It was very interesting to take a step out of the kitchen and realize how much you've learned, even though you were just stuck in one room for 16 weekends before that.
I'm sure you guys talk a
So-
lot back there. You gotta learn. A lot of good people to learn from, I would think.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that was such an interesting throw into leadership. So that was my kind of start to leadership in the lodge, was getting thrown in at a random meal during an event and kind of put on the spot all at the sudden.
I
And
kinda
not
had the
really
same
knowing how to handle
experience,
them.
honestly.
Yeah.
It was, except it wasn't no act. They're like, hey, can you do our booth? And it was like way too soon, way too close to the event.
How do you do a booth?
How do I do a booth? Well, I made custom guitar picks and I had them come. I had me and someone else come because we brought our Nintendo Switch and we all played Smash Bros at the booth and everyone loved it. So just saying,
Yes.
pretty great. And we did it again this
Yes.
year because I did the same thing, but even closer to the deadline.
Yeah.
What kind of other experiences have you had in leadership and scouting? Like any other programs you've taken, participated in, led, anything like that?
Like in my troop?
Sure. Troop, NYLT, anything like that?
Oh, okay. I can say some stuff. So I was never an SPL in my troop. It was kind of a heartbreak for me. Now it doesn't matter as much because it's far gone,
Right.
but it kind of sat on my heart a little bit. My troop's leadership was really interesting. It was almost like if you had ran the previous year before and didn't get it, if you ran again the next term, you would have got it.
Huh.
Does that make sense? It was really interesting. So, for example, I ran for patrol leader, and I ran against one of my good friends, but because he had ran the previous year, even though I had a better speech, he won, which was very, very interesting. And then I was ASPO for 2 terms, and that was interesting
How big is your
because
troop?
I am. It was about 50 active members and about 80, 90 members total.
That's
so it
an
was a big
abnormally
troop.
large troop. So I bet those
Yes.
elections are much more competitive than
It
ones
was
in mine, which maybe has like 20 active at a time, if that.
Actually, really surprisingly not, truly.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
It was very interesting because we would only have, 2 to 3 candidates each year. And it was really interesting because it's almost like everybody knew who they were going to vote for. There was obviously somebody there who was unqualified for the job and obviously wouldn't get it. There was usually just a kind of 1v1 each year. It's the best way to explain it.
1v1.
So, yeah, so it's pretty interesting. And then moving on to other leadership roles, I was offered some leadership roles in venturing, but in the quest to be lodge chief, I sadly had to decline simply because it's a lodge rule as well
Wait, is it? I didn't actually know that. You can't be
with
like the
being a
president of
VOA.
Venture Crew?
Correct. No, I was offered a
Oh, like a
VOA
VOA?
officer
Okay.
position.
Yeah,
Yeah,
VOA makes more sense.
it's in the lodge rules. You
Yeah, that I knew
can't
about.
be on 2 council positions. So that was fun. Then my other major leadership position was being ASPL of service/logistics for MTC 25 for NYLT.
Oh, very nice.
So that was pretty cool. I got a call one day from Kinsey Neal, if you know who that
I
is.
do, the goat.
And she asked me, no, actually, excuse me, it was one induction weekend. She came up to me and she said, hey, would you like to be a troop guide? And me being me, I asked her, I said, when did you realize you got this role? And she said, literally 2 days ago. It was so funny. So she figured it out going into the weekend. Back to the story, I asked her, I said, do you have all your ASBL positions? And she said, no. And so I was like, huh, so which one are you missing? She said, ASBL service. And I said, huh. So I just happened to finish my my vice chief of service role in
would
the
you look
lodge.
at that?
Would you look at that? So by some miracle or some way, I convinced her to make me the ASPL of service, even though it was my first time at NYLT, or not my first time staffing, not my first time at NYLT. Let's make that clear. But it was just very interesting. And I think one thing that was really interesting about that experience was the principles you learn as a leader in the things you do right now can easily be applicable to other leadership roles. I mean, this is a really simple concept, but I never realized that until I got into that position. My advisor, his name was Mr. Fouch, Mr. Terry Fouch, great guy. And he was terrified that I was going to fail because I had never been NYLT staff before, right? And the time I did it, the syllabus was new and it was about 2 years old. So this was not my NYLT because I got through NYLT at NYLT, I think it was 16.
That's crazy.
So it was
Mine's
literally 5
23.
years ago. Yeah. So I had
Oh, no, mine's
literally,
22, sorry.
there had been 2 syllabus changes by the time I was staff, which is bonkers. So I kind of could remember the course, but not a lot. And luckily, throughout the SDs, the staff developments, he learned to trust me and trust that I got this. Like I can truly take what I've learned and apply it to this position I was currently in. And sure enough, I did learn a few lessons during there. One of them is really important to me, is to know when to be serious and know when to goof around.
That's a good lesson.
That was definitely a good lesson. Because of the place we were in, the service staff, we would sit around, I would say for 50% of the course, we would sit in on some of the lessons. And it was really, really interesting because there was this moral dilemma where it was like, we can go in and listen to the people that are speaking right now for like the last, I don't know, half of their speech, or we could fellowship with one another and build that connection. So it was a very interesting moral dilemma. And my advisor suggested that I go with the first one, which was to listen in on the speeches, which is just another beautiful lesson I learned, which was sometimes, even though it might be boring, it's important.
Yeah,
So,
I'd agree. If you wouldn't mind talking about your experience at MLT attending, like as a youth, That'd be cool as well. Because I kind of with you
Oh,
on that boring one. Because, like, MYLT, I loved it. It was great. But yeah, it was boring. I had to do my best to pay attention at some of those more technical
oh
speeches.
yes.
Although I'm glad I did.
Ab-
I'm glad I did because I still use those skills today. Every day.
So my MYLT course was a long ago. I was I was one of the younger ones in the patrol. I was
How
the
old were
second.
you?
I was in the second youngest patrol. I think I was 13.
Dang.
I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the speeches never really hit for me. And I do have slight ADHD, just a little bit, just enough to
A
where
little
I would
bit.
zone out. I would zone out basically on every speech. That sounds terrible, but looking back on it now, it's a good lesson for me now to understand the importance of listening. So even though I didn't learn a lot from the actual speeches themselves, the course was fantastic. But I simply wish I was like 1 or 2 years older, so the stuff that they taught to me, I could truly bring into my roles I have right now.
I often tell people who are going MLT to not go until they're like 14 at least, because I think you do get more out of it
Right.
that way. And I would not trust 13-year-old me to sit through MYLT speeches either. Like, I don't blame you, ADHD or no, whatever acronym disorder, it doesn't matter. 13-year-olds and younger, they're not gonna sit through a speech and retain everything. It's just not in your nature as like a younger kid. So
No.
yeah, I usually tell people the same thing. But would you recommend people go in general? I would.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's awesome.
This, for all of those listening, hopefully there's a lot of you out there. I think my biggest piece of advice, and I know it sounds so cliche, but MYLT is a really good foundation of leadership. And even
This
at
is true.
that, if you're older, it's a good reminder to truly set that foundation. I had a guy in my course who was literally my age when he went through, and he said, I knew a lot of this stuff. And I said, but what'd you take away? And he said, it more created a foundation in my leadership training. So now it's kind of drilled into my head, which sounds brutal, but
It's important.
talking to him later after the course, he was so grateful for it.
That's good. Love that. Let's get a little goofier. What are your
All right.
hobbies? Or I guess I don't know, less scouting adjacent. What are your hobbies outside of scouting? What do you like to do? You know, in the
I love
little bit of free
my
time you have?
two biggest hobbies are thrifting and bowling. Okay,
That's very.
I know
very chic.
thrifting. I sound like just a basic person. It's just like one of those people that's just like, oh, I'm gonna go thrifting, have fun.
Jeans has
No,
flowers on it. That's so chic, dude. It's so like it's so alternative.
no. So my friend in high school got me really into streetwear fashion,
hmm
extremely, to the point where my closet is full of clothes, and it used to not be. So, womp womp. I just love thrifting. I love finding cool little pieces of clothing
It's like a treasure hunt.
that, yeah, kind of.
It's fun.
And also, I started my own business in my senior year of high school. It was called, what was it called? It was called Renewal. Our whole purpose of the business was to take thrifted clothing that would have been thrown away and refurbish it and reuse it
Oh,
and like resell it as a rebranded t-shirt.
interesting. Do you still do that?
I kind of do. I haven't seen a lot of interest, but I have at the same time. The interest has mostly come from my closer friends that
Mhm.
support me and less of supporting the brand and what the brand stands for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's really easy to sell a person, and I'm learning through marketing tricks how to sell a person with a
Mhm.
business. But for now, there's not a lot of people that stand behind the idea though. But the samples I've produced, which is about 30 handmade samples, do look pretty cool. They have custom patches on them that I made, and then custom
one of
embroidery
those-
on the front.
Yeah, like one of those embroidery machines.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty hype. I love those.
Yeah, and then bowling. is my other hobby.
Number one unk hobby right here.
I'm actually Belmo, the number one bowler in the world. Secret identity.
Velmo? Is that actually his name?
Belmo, Belmo.
Belmo.
He's from Australia. That's his last
That's a
name.
goated name. Belmo.
Yeah, that actually is really sick. He's the best bowler of all time so far. But anyway, back to bowling. I
Mhm.
did it throughout my high school career. I got into it because my brother's girlfriend was on the bowling team, and she peer pressured me to come out. So I was like, you know what? Why not? And turns out I could. So my freshman and sophomore year, I was on the varsity team, and I was one of the top 3
A
bowlers.
varsity bowling team?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So I averaged like 150 to 180
Hey, it's not bad. It's really good.
as a straight bowler. You know, for a school that's like in the middle of nowhere, that wasn't bad.
Yeah, right?
And then my junior years, the seniors kind of locked in and started averaging like 210.
Dang.
So that's pretty good. And then my senior year, I was really cooking, but my team wasn't good. So this is kind of sad, but also a really good dad lore story is we did not win one match my entire senior year.
Oh my gosh.
It's because we changed leagues. So instead of bowling in Franklin, we bowled in Smyrna. So we
Oh.
started bowling teams that actually all they did was bowl. So they were actually good at bowling. So, you know, we had a lot of close matches. We almost beat the number 1 team in the district,
Hey.
and that was
look
really
at this.
fun. It was actually really funny because the coach walked away really upset from the match because of how
him what
close
for.
the match was.
That's funny.
I'm telling you, the match was less than 10 pins away.
Oh my gosh.
Not a joke.
Like one
Yeah.
for him, damn.
So he got so mad at his team, and us being the team that has not won
You don't have
a
anything to
single
lose.
match, we're halfway through the season. We're just laughing. We're like,
That's
there's
great.
no way you almost just lost to us.
I love that.
That's funny.
That was like
But-
me when I played soccer for a little bit. I did like actual like travel soccer, and they made an 07-08 league.
Mm.
Like they made one. It was like the first year, and we didn't win a single game. We weren't even that bad. Everyone else was just way better. Like
Yeah,
we were all
I know
right.
what you're saying.
Everyone else was playing soccer like forever. So we were like just really mid. So whenever someone like almost lost to us, or like they had a tie, it's like the same situation. That's
Mm.
pretty funny.
So I ended my senior season as being the 12th best men's bowler in high school in Tennessee.
Dang.
Fun fact.
That's
Yeah.
that is a fun fact. That's like a
So
2 truths and a lie fact right there. That's dope.
I was 2 places away from competing in state,
Oh
to
man.
give you anything.
State
Yeah,
bowler.
so that's pretty sad. Like state finale.
Oh wow.
So they have a big open and hundreds of high school bowlers show up, and I cooked that day. So I placed 12th.
Oh wow.
Pretty cool stuff though.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite memory from scouting or the OA maybe? Just a favorite memory. Something you think back to when someone asks a question like that. It's like, man, that's great.
Oh, I got a pretty emotional one. It was on my induction weekend back in 2017. That's 7 years ago.
Yeah, what were the
Holy
dinosaurs
smokes.
like when you were walking around there? Did
Yeah. Thank you.
you get there in a covered wagon
So-
or what? Like,
Yeah. Anyway, I think I was 12. Yeah, I was 12 years old,
wow.
and I was going through my induction, and it was crazy. I wanted to be in the OA so bad because Logan, my brother, had been coming home after every weekend and talking about how much fun he was having at the OA, and I was like, come on, like get me in there. Like I want to go so bad.
Message to all members. That is the best way you can get people to join, by the way. Is just tell them how awesome it is. That is literally the most
simple
effective
enough.
way.
It got me in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it got me hooked. So I came in and 12 years old, and we're setting up Boxwell like normal. I was in the June one. So we were setting up all the tents, setting out all the cots.
Right.
In the middle of the day, I was so tired. I was 12 years old. I definitely weighed less than 100 pounds. I was like 5'4", and my Alingamat was starting a new task about carrying these metal cots. And these cots were like heavy. Like looking at them, I was like, these probably weigh half of me.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know those metal cots that the National Guard gifted to us with like the big wooden flat on top of it?
I think so. Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. So
Oh god.
imagine
Oh, those. Oh
little,
yes, those. Oh my
yes,
god.
so heavy. And imagine little Carson trying to pick it up, at least half of it up with a partner. So I was on my second cot and I just drop it and I start crying because I'm so exhausted. I'm doing stuff I've never done. I've never held this much weight. I've never worked this physically hard in my life, and I just start crying. And then my league mat came over and he kind of helped me up. And that was a big moment for me, was I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of sat down and chilled for a second just to think. And then we finished the task. And it was just really, really heart hitting to realize that we were going through the weekend, but he cared more about how I was feeling than actually getting the task done, which was really, I'm not getting emotional. I don't even remember my Lingamet's name, but if he remembers having me, thank you, because that was just a rough second or hour that I was just down and at him. But it just shows like how cool the OA can be sometimes.
Yeah,
and
it does.
And the Brotherhood of Cheerful Service is a real thing. So that was my first introduction to the possibilities and the people that the Wahinasa Lodge has to offer.
I don't think you could have gotten a better introduction, to be honest. I think that's perfect. Whoever that Lingamat is
Well,
did exactly like the best possible thing they could have done. I mean, that's the spirit of the OA.
Literally.
The spirit of being a Lingamat. It's everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's exactly what the induction's all about. Like the whole message of it, you know. It's about you.
Yes.
You can do it. It's a personal journey. So that's awesome that you got to experience it in such like a really raw way. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I still wish I was a little bit older, but that's okay. Anyway, a fun memory would be definitely in the kitchen. I was lucky to be a part of the tradition, or like the change of tradition of how we cook our eggs. So
wait, there's egg tradition?
Okay, you just gotta listen to the full story.
All right,
here we go. Back in 2017, the kitchen was just run by adults, and the youth were just there to kind of clean up everything. It kind of sucked. By kind of, I mean it really sucked. No kid did anything. The adults did everything. It was so boring. So I was part of the change in both like actually making the food and not just heating it, and having the kids or the youth cook the food. So what our eggs used to be was they would come pre-stirred, pre-cracked in these bags, frozen. And we would put these bags in a massive boiler, and then you would take out the bags, rip them open, and then here would come like one big looking egg, and you would take a whisk.
One big egg.
And you would basically whisk it up. It was massive. Those like 4-inch deep pans were filled to the brim with just solid egg.
Oh my god.
And it was disgusting. It was actually disgusting to just watch with like the water coming out.
Yeah,
so my favorite thing that we've ever done was cook fresh eggs. But there's an issue about fresh eggs. If you cook fresh eggs, in front of you is the task of cracking, stirring, and cooking over 300 eggs.
Oh my god.
And the thing about eggs that are so hard is, if you don't know, they cool off within like 15 minutes. So the egg process has to be started 10 minutes before service. If you didn't know, when we have eggs, there are usually 3 guys who are busting their butts to give you the best cooked eggs of your life. There's 2 people that are cooking and cracking, 1 person cooking, and 1 person running. Actually 4. So just next time you're at a Wahinasa event and you have eggs, like on a biscuit or just as a whole, just know that it most likely came hand cracked and hand cooked right onto your plate. Pretty fun fact.
Yeah, I've been to some other camps and their eggs do not compare. So I'm glad that we do it right. That's
Yeah, it's an exhausting process, but I'm gonna tell you, it's worth it.
It is worth it. There's nothing of all the foods to be like not that good. I don't want it to be eggs. You know, like compromise on the bread. Actually, no, bread's good. Bread's important too.
No,
Like eggs, bread,
That was a bad
and like
example.
meat, and like meat in general. That's everything else not as important. Those things need to be good, or else your meal's gonna be nasty.
100%.
Let's look at the future. You know, what's your future look like? What do you plan to do after you kind of age out? Not, you know, done with scouts necessarily, but, you know, you're no longer a youth within the lodge or youth participating adult.
I miss the days where I would just come to an event and just work and not have to worry about setting an expectation. I mean, there will always be an expectation because I'm a previous lodge chief, but there's no real true expectation, and I would just get to simply work.
You can
I
go
just
to an event
miss
and
the
just
day.
do, you know? There's no like
Yeah.
greater thing you're gonna
And
like.
there's no, I love people coming up to me and going, "Oh my gosh, are you the lodge chief?" I love that feeling. I feel like a celebrity at every event. It's so much fun. But at the same time, the whole reason I joined the OA and I have come to every single event for the past 7 years is because of the service. I'm addicted to the service. I love the feeling of serving others and giving back to others. That's the whole point of the OA. And I love being a part of an organization that's whole purpose is to serve one another. There's literally no organization like that. And that's not a new thought, but that's my main reason. And for the future, I hope to go back to kitchen for at least one event. So Nick, if you're hearing this, Nick is our
I'll have to
kitchen
send this
chair.
to Nick specifically.
I'm coming home. We're going to come full circle. So I'm not going to take over the kitchen. I'll just, wash dishes in the back, maybe cook some eggs for you.
Yeah, I cannot wait to have some
That's it.
Carson
That's all I want to
Patterson
do.
made eggs.
Yes. And then I want to do a Lingamat one more time. I had the pleasure of being a Lingamat in June induction weekend. I had a few people that were kind of like skeptical because, quote unquote, usually you're supposed to be seen by everybody as lodge chief. But I really hope that they and the candidates and the members got just as much out of it as I did.
I think Lingamatting as a lodge chief, I know you mentioned that it's something you always really wanted to do. You thought it'd be really neat to do that. I do actually agree. I mean, I think it's a really special thing to see, the person who these new members are like, that's the guy, that's the big kahuna, and he's like down here with me, doing the grunt work, lifting the cots, putting up the tents, I think that's a pretty special thing to see. And it's definitely
really
an interesting take on being the lodge chief at an induction. I think it's really neat.
Ever since I was in kitchen, we would joke about the lodge chief actually coming back and being like, he hasn't served in a bit.
That's
what's he doing up there? Just giving speeches? Come down. Come where the real work gets done.
Oh yeah.
Kind of deal. I can't just talk about it. You got to be about it too. You can't just be like, oh, look at him. Lodge chiefs can be larger than life figures. And I hope I'm not, because I'm only 5'9". And I hope members I really hope members aren't scared to talk to me.
I will say, as the shortest officer, you really make me feel like included. And I'm not even that short. Everyone else is just tall. Is he from taller than me?
Well, Brady's a giant. Okay,
Yeah, he's
that's not our fault. Yeah, that's not fair. And what's even worse is like my brother is 6'3", so it's the fact that I could have been tall. It's like
he stole all your height from you.
Yeah, basically.
Bro, he stole it.
Yeah.
That's so mean. How can you do that?
Where was I going with this? Oh, right. Lodge chiefs sometimes can be like larger than life figures. And to all the people listening right now, we're not. Frank and simple, period, end of story, we're not. We're just like you. We come to each of the events because we love hanging out with our friends, we love fellowshipping, and we love serving one another.
Yeah, it's true. Even Samuel Rumley got up. He even goes home. He's got a bedtime too. I mean, yeah, they're just people. And normal people do normal things, you know? Like you got hobbies. You're not up in the lodge every day. That would be psychotic.
Who says? Are you in the lodge every day?
Well, me?
I mean, every time you're at the lodge, I'm at the lodge too. So
That's
just
true.
saying.
There's actually no proof that we're not there every day. That's true. We actually cannot verify that. So, have you thought about college or your prospects there? Are you going to go, if at all? You know, it's current year. You don't have to go to college or everything.
In college actually right now.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you going? What are you doing?
I'm at Harding University studying business management. Ever since being able to like have all these positions in the OA have really inspired me and showed me I can really just do what I want to do. And obviously for me, Jesus and God and religion and Christianity is a big part of my life. So trying to find that balance of how I work for money and how I build myself and how I build my future career and my faith really coincide each other. So I'm grateful to be at Harding because it's a good Christian atmosphere. This is a really corny way to explain it, but
Hey man, whatever works.
it's true. I'm really hoping that I can start an apparel company in the future, a streetwear apparel company. And if not, I'm pretty good at marketing, I think. I have this understanding, at least right now at my age, of what people would like to see. And that's something different. So I really hope that my creative mind can really push me to be an apparel company business, and plan B is to be a marketer. So whatever that is, you know.
It sounds like a good career. I mean, I know that really coincides with your passion for, you know, streetwear and whatnot. And then
Yes.
even if you get to your apparel company, you can do the marketing for your apparel company. So I mean, you're gonna do the marketing either way, you know?
Or quote unquote delegate it, like we learned
Like we learned
in OA,
and
to
NLP
delegate.
and everywhere.
Hard, yes, that too. Hard truth of reality is you can't do everything.
As much as many people would love to.
Much as people would really like to, can't do everything.
So we've gone pretty long. This is the longest one. I think I'll make this one a bit longer. I mean, I'll edit out all of the awkward silences and stutters, so don't worry about that if you're conscious about it.
I kind of locked in for this interview, Emerson.
You
I
did
won't
actually
even
lock
lie.
in. I will say there was not a lot of that. So I'll try to keep it, you know, a reasonable length, but I want it to be longer since, you know, it's a special episode. Got the Lodge Chief, and it'll probably be the last one we do. Maybe not. I'm not putting a cap on it just in case, but you know, going to summer camp and everything, I was staffing at that time, so it's kind of tough to keep stuff rolling out. But I'm glad we at least got through, you know, all of the officers. I think that was really nice for me to accomplish that. You know, shine a light on, like you said, Lodge Chief and by extension the officers and everyone in the OA. Anyone you look up to in general. You know, they're just normal people. They just happen to do a cool thing, and that should show you can do it too.
Like you as in me?
You as in
Like you,
the viewer.
Emerson?
Yeah, you on the couch. On your phone.
Oh, yeah.
You with the hair
Yeah, I
and
know
skin.
what you're saying. Yep.
But I think
that's me.
as you, I think kind of reached a good time here to call it. What do you think? Any other closing remarks or anything you want to talk about?
What should I say? What's a good way to end this?
Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, I'm content brain.
Oh, here's a good one.
Oh, here we go.
Dearest viewer who is listening to this right now,
Yeah.
this might not apply to you. You might be a parent. You might be a mom or a dad. You might be a girl or a boy. You might be 12 years old. You might be 18. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And I hope and pray that you come join the OA, not just because I'm selfish, but because this is such a cool organization and we would love for you to be a part of it or keep being a part of it. From the deepest parts of my heart.
I think that was a good way to end it.
Was that good?
That was great. Couldn't have said it better myself. Come join. It's cool. So.
Don't forget to put that last part in.
I won't.
Come join. It's cool.
It's the bottom line, man. It's a great time.
Oh, little disclaimer, last part. The OA is not a cult. I apologize.
It's not.
I'm sorry. I ruined everybody's dreams. all the little conspiracy theories that's happening right now of OA being cult. It's not. All of our information is public except for a few things, which kind of makes us culty, but not really.
Yeah, but it's not
No.
like you couldn't figure it out if you really had to.
Yeah.
So
Well, side quest.
let's hit them with the like, comment, subscribe, and see you next
Wait,
time.
wait.
Oh, what?
Wait.
No.
Hold on. One last thing.
Yeah. The third one.
One last thing. Hold on. Okay.
He's cooking. I'm gonna leave it in this silence.
Can you hear it?
I heard I heard like a tiny little bit of it. What did you do?
Can you not hear it?
Not really, no. It's got noise suppression in the software. Or in like the audio thing. Oh, we're getting closer to the keyboard.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, fire.
Oh.
Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
Okay, I know what music you're playing. I'll put it in post, okay? So pretend it's playing right now, okay? I know what you're doing. I know which one that is, okay? So let's...
I was trying.
Yeah.
It's called Exogenesis. Exogenesis? Yeah.
Exogenesis. Okay. So let's just pretend like it's playing. So remember, it's building up right now, okay?
Guys, it's been a pleasure. It's so wonderful to have you on. It's so wonderful to be on. I'm so excited. I'm so happy this was such a successful year.
That's right.
And I'll see you in the next one.
Come to Fall Fellowship, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Pew!